What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Real Conservative Talk. Zach took the weekend off, so as you've noticed, I worked all weekend. But what's up, Zach? How was your nice weekend off?
Hi, guys. Sorry I'm a lazy piece of shit, but some of us like to take our weekends and do other things.
Well, you see, guys, Zach's married now, so he doesn't have the luxury of having podcast weekends or hunting weekends or anything like that anymore. He is ruled by a dictator now. So, got a lot of different things I want to talk about today. A lot went on since we did our last podcast, which was Thursday. And, we had things like the Joe Biden town hall. We had that shit show. We had the Alec Baldwin killing. Mass shooting, almost. Yeah, let's start there. I want to say this. I've seen a lot of memes about Alec Baldwin and a lot of people giving Alec Baldwin shit about this shooting. I want to say first, before we get into this conversation, because I know it's going to go down a very inappropriate hole.
Oh, okay.
So, someone died, right? Which is sad. So let's respect the fact that a woman died. Sadly, someone's not going home to their family, and she did it while she was at work doing her job. And accidents happen. Shit does happen. So my condolences to that family. I hope I never have to experience something like that, and I hope that no one has to experience some even in Alec Baldwin's shoes. But the point of this show as well is to talk about, current events, but also offer solutions. What is a solution? What could have avoided this, Zach?
Maybe a gun safety class beforehand.
So, apparently, now we were talking about this before, and we know that they use real guns on set. So I don't like the term prop gun. I know it's a prop because it's in a movie, but it's a real gun. It's a real firearm.
Correct.
And they do that for to make it look realistic.
Right.
And I get that, but why would they need, and this is just me, I've never worked in the movie industry. If it's like a scene where it's like a close-up of the gun, and the guy's just holding the gun, pointing it, maybe,
okay, I
get using a real gun. But in a shootout scene, when the gun's moving around a lot and everything like that, why do they need a real gun?
Best answer I can give you is because the weight, which I guess they could replicate in a prop gun.
Well, okay. They use caps or blanks, right? And so they can shoot the blanks, and that gives it a realistic sound and muzzle flash.
That's the whole point of the blank.
So, okay, we'll start there. But at the same time, and they have a person in armorer on set that handles the weapons.
Right, they have a
supposed to have safety protocols. But if you are someone that handles guns at any point, that it is up to every person that's going to touch that gun to make sure it's safe.
Correct. And
to not trust someone that is handing you a firearm.
Correct, which is why I said a gun safety course beforehand probably could have avoided this situation.
Yes, so obviously not everyone is going to go through a gun safety course. Like there's hunters, you're supposed to go through your hunter ed course, but not everyone is going to go get their carry permit and stuff like that.
Right, no, I'm with you.
But they grew up shooting guns. So, but the difference is growing up and being around them, having the proper teachings over time. Learning how to be around a firearm is something that's like ingrained over a time period of lessons and experience, right? Like it's beat into you. If you start when you're little, it's beat into you. I remember my dad saying, you don't touch a gun. If you see a gun, you don't touch it. And would say, I will beat your ass if you ever touch that firearm when I was younger. That was like the worst thing I could have ever thought about doing, was touching a gun that I wasn't allowed to.
So my dad didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, from the beginning, his main thing to me was, if you see a gun and it is not your gun, don't touch the gun.
Mm-hmm.
If it is a gun in this house, you can touch the gun, but you have to handle it in this fashion.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just pick it up to pick it up.
Yeah.
You're going to handle it in this fashion. You're going to go through these these steps when you pick up a weapon.
Yeah. See, I think with us, it was more of, if it's in the house, if we're in the house, there's no reason to touch it anyway.
Fair.
Right? Unless they're showing you something
Yeah.
and you have permission, there's no reason to ever go in there and start playing with the gun.
Right. You don't just go into the safe and start grabbing guns and just fiddle around with them.
Now, I say all that because that's why maybe some of these actors, someone like an Alec Baldwin that was anti-gun, obviously wasn't around guns. You don't just film a movie and say, okay, here's how it works. Don't do this, don't do that. People forget.
Well, and it's funny. I didn't realize he was anti-gun because then that takes me to a laughable point. All these people who are anti-gun, if, as I said earlier, if he would have gone through a gun safety course in the beginning, that probably wouldn't have happened. But since he's anti-gun, he's never taken the time to understand how it is to hold, use, what the damage could be of a weapon.
Yeah. Well, the armor may have showed him this. Okay, so they may have taken we don't know, because you have someone on set that's supposed to be, going through all the safety stuff and teaching him all this and all that, right? Because they got to teach him how to use it to use the gun on camera.
Right.
So I'm assuming they had some kind of safety course, but why would they ever point a gun at a person? I don't care if it's loaded or unloaded. If it's real, you don't point it at someone.
And that's why I think that there wasn't a gun safety course. Because let me say this. As somebody who, has never really been in a movie or something like that, I would assume that a professional actor who does this all the time, who's always on set, who gets paid loads and loads and loads of money, isn't going to cut up like that with somebody, like she was. And I'm not saying they're not going to joke around or stuff like that, but they wouldn't cut up in that sense. So that's what makes me think that there wasn't a gun safety course. Because if there was, then he would have known and been told the importance of, hey, I don't care if it's unloaded, I don't care if it's fake, I don't care what it may be, you have a gun in your hand. It has blanks. So don't point it at a person.
Actually, you may be right about that gun safety course. You know why? Because they actually had a protest before this on another incident that happened right before this on that same set due to gun safety. So it was actually the second incident regarding gun safety. So you're probably right. They were negligent. Here's the other thing. There's no such thing as an accidental discharge.
No. And all these anti-gun people who tell me, or who say, they don't tell me because I don't talk to them, but who say that guns kill people? No. People kill people.
Exactly.
For instance, right here, it was a blank. And a person killed a person. The gun didn't do anything.
He had to pull that trigger.
Correct. That trigger doesn't just magically go poof.
He either pulled the trigger or dropped the gun or did something that caused that gun to fire. You can load a gun. If you went and got every gun in this house, Zach, we loaded them all up. Full. 30 rounds, one in the chamber, each gun. Put them in the rooms, pointing right at us. It will not go off.
No. I can sit there all day long.
Right? That gun will sit there and behave itself.
Correct.
It will only go off for every action is a reaction. It has to have an action to it to go off to fire.
You are very correct.
The other thing is they're out in the desert filming a Western. I'm assuming it's a scene that was a shootout scene if he was shooting the gun. Okay?
I would assume so.
Those guns are they got sand blowing around. They're dirty, right? Make sure the gun's clean. Because obviously, from what we hear, is it's a blank, but blanks are explosive still. That's what gives it.
They still have gunpowder.
Exactly. And if something was in the barrel, then that's what caused this to happen.
Right.
So, or if they were, trying to lodge something in the barrel to keep, to prevent an accident, and that whatever they lodged in there was what shot out, that's stupid.
That'd be
I don't know.
ironic.
Obviously, something happened, someone's dead, and it falls on every person that handled that firearm.
Correct.
All the way down to Alec Baldwin.
Correct.
Because when you go to a gun store and you ask to see a gun, what do? The first thing, they pull out the shelf, they're pointing it in the air, they open the action, and have the chamber open the full time that you handle the gun. And you, in that store, knowing it's unloaded, physically able to see it's unloaded, will still not point that gun at anyone.
Nope. I normally point it in the corner of the room.
Or down or up, wherever. Right?
Yep.
It's just...
Well, I go up the up corner.
Because anyone that's been around firearms, okay, has something in their head that just... It's like a unconscious sense that when you point a gun at someone, you know it's not right.
Correct.
You know? Like, you can be pointing at yourself or someone else around the room, and you know it's not right. It's just a weird feeling in your head that you know you're not supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. Because it's, you know, if you shot it, a real firearm, and that's the other thing, I would make these actors, and if they're going to act in a movie that has firearms, they got to go shoot real rounds.
Oh, yeah.
Not on set, because there should never be real rounds on set, ever.
Have you ever seen there's a video that came out of Keanu Reeves when he was preparing for that, and you see him on the range?
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's very impressive. But all these actors that are going to act in a movie with a firearm should have to go shoot live ammunition before they start acting, because, again, live ammunition, in my opinion, should never be anywhere near a movie set.
Completely agree with you.
Okay? There's too many people. That's the other thing, too, is there's so many people, so much can go wrong. Mm-hmm. When you have more people out shooting, more accidents can happen.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
For sure.
That's why usually it's better if you're going to take someone that has never shot before, you go like a one-on-one situation or with just a couple people. It's just less stressful, right? And you can be more one-on-one and help them and teach them. Like, I guarantee you that when they were going over safety protocol, they probably lined up the actors, and they may have only lined up the ones that were supposed to be handling a firearm on the movie, and showed them in a group how to use it instead of one-on-one.
Yeah, I can agree.
You know? Someone probably was holding it, showing them, here's what you do, don't do this, don't do that, and that was it.
Everybody, if they should have done it one-on-one at a gun range, everybody had a weapon in their hand, and they should have walked them through. Just like Keanu Reeves did, which, granted, I think his was more so like
he likes to shoot. That's like a hobby of his.
Yeah, well, but I also think that it was, I mean, I agree with you. I know that, but I also think it was kind of a training thing, because those John Wick movies are pretty sweet. Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure he's like big gun nut. Like he's really into that.
I'm with it.
But you know the other thing that's funny though, we talked about this. These actors are anti-gun.
A lot of them are.
Right?
Yep.
But damn it, they won't fucking play in a movie where they're shooting guns the whole time to get that money.
Oh, for sure.
And shooting and killing people and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
because that's not real.
It's just ironic.
Yeah.
And well, it is real. The movies have shot a lot more people than I ever have.
That's very true.
Right? I mean, real people. I'm not talking about the people that kill in the movies. I'm talking about like Alec Baldwin has killed more people than I have. Again, right. I don't want to try and make light of the situation. Mm-hmm. All right? I'm not going to sit here and, make jokes or anything like that, because it is a serious thing. Someone's dead.
It is.
And someone's dead because of someone fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Or multiple people fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we'll see that someone's going to pay some consequences for it.
Oh, for sure.
Or multiple people, too.
At least you know what? I hope so. I really do. But you know what? The only reason I don't think is because it's Hollywood.
They have the money.
Well, that, and they, are like the main source of propaganda.
And I'm not saying, Alec Baldwin should go to jail for 20 years. Absolutely not. It's an accident. Shit happens, right? Unfortunately, shit happens and it costs someone their life, but it is something that,
Something still needs to be changed.
Yes.
They need to have a better gun safety course that every actor should go through.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I believe that Alec Baldwin should pay some reparations to the family.
Oh, well, he'll probably do that. I guarantee you. The family's going to have a fucking lawsuit.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. Did you see the 911 call?
No.
They had a 911 call.
For this?
Yeah. And the lady that called in is telling the dispatcher, hey, we need someone down here. Someone has, we have a gunshot accident. And the lady goes, was the gun loaded with a live round? And the response was, I can't tell you that. But there was an accident with a gun shot. Like that. And then the dispatcher was like, she goes, so, okay, we're sending someone. And while she's like getting the people sent out there,
right.
The lady calling from the set starts bitching about how the AD was the one that was supposed to check the guns and how it's their fault and how, did you see them yelling at me? He yelled at me, blah, 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 at lunch about this, blah, 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 but it's his fault. He needs to check the gun. And I'm like, it literally sounds like this call, before they got on the call 911, they were like, hey, hold on, you need to watch what you say. You need to be careful what you say because of legal reasons, blah, blah, blah. Like they had talked about before they called 911 while this lady's dying, what and what not to say. That's exactly what this 911 call sounded like.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past him. I really wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
Not even close. I wouldn't pass.
And the lady was more pissed off at getting yelled at over the gun deal than she was that someone died. And she it wasn't like she was like, oh my God, get someone out here, and all that stuff. It was like, yeah, can you believe that asshole yelled at me? Blah blah blah. I mean, come on, that's the shit that and we're supposed to care about what they think about our politics. There's no reality with them.
No, dude, they're all actors. They live in a false world of God knows what. I have no desire to.
But you know how all this could be avoided, Zach? Gun safety course in school. So the other day we talked about how finance needs to be taught and how math and all that in PE. Gun safety course needs to be somewhere in middle school or high school.
I would put it in high school. I wouldn't go to the middle school level.
Not shooting. But you can teach people with gun safety without shooting in middle school, Zach.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
You don't have to shoot. You don't even have to handle a gun, but
but then my problem rolls with that. My problem with that is that then you're putting more responsibility on the school system to do the right thing. And for me...
We teach driver's ed. Why?
Oh, I get that. But does every student go through driver's ed?
A lot.
A decent amount, but not all of them. I'm just saying. So
okay, you know who doesn't go through driver's ed?
Who?
The ones that already went and got their license and went through the same course.
Okay. This is what I'm getting at. I think that gun safety is something that should be taught by parents at home.
It should, but not all parents have guns, and not all agree with it.
Fair.
Right?
See, but then you're going to run into the issue of parents who don't want their kids to be around.
So you want to teach my kid how to have sex, but you don't want to teach them how to be safe around a weapon. A tool.
Yeah, that's fair. You're right. That is a valid point. It is a tool. It is something that is used by a human to do something else.
It would prevent a lot of accidents.
Could.
And I'm not talking about like a whole year. I'm talking about like a semester. Like driver's ed is.
I'm with you.
Right?
I'm with you.
Whether you like it or not, it's a safety thing.
Yeah.
I'm fine with you teaching my kid to wear a condom or about all that, the science and all that shit, right? That's fine. But let's also teach them safety with other things.
Safety with things that could, instead of making life, could take
life or death. Like let's teach them how to swim from a young age. Let's do little things like that. If we're gonna, like we're teaching art, Zach. We're going back to the art conversation. We're teaching how to fucking paint. More kids will handle a firearm than they will grow up to be painters.
You're not wrong.
There's 400 million guns in the United States.
Yeah.
Okay? It is a part of our life, which it should be. We have a fucking amendment dedicated to it.
Correct. Well, and they always should be because they are, as you said, they're a tool. But they're a tool to be able to defend yourself.
Exactly. I guarantee you 99 out of 100 times at some point in their lives, a kid will encounter a gun.
Yeah, I agree. If it's at a friend's house,
in some
their parents, yeah, I agree with you.
Right,
I agree with that.
And I'm sure people in other countries are like, "Oh God, that's just crazy that you you would want to teach gun safety in school. That you guys had to do all that." You're goddamn right, we do.
Yeah, 100%.
And rightfully so. But now these actors are going to petition. Oh, we're not going to use live guns on set or anything like that. It's like, or gun. They're gonna have the gun laws and shit. And I'm like, no, that has nothing to. A fucking accident by some dumbass that didn't know how to use a firearm is not reason enough to change anything.
Yeah,
just be more safe.
Right, gun safety.
Yes. The other thing I think, Zach, is that every kid should have to go hunting at some point growing up.
Yeah. I can agree with
And
that.
I say, and I'm not talking about squirrel hunting or dove hunting or rabbit hunting. I'm talking about like a larger animal, deer hunting or
elk,
or
moose.
or hog hunting.
Okay.
You know why? Because
Take a life.
exactly you learn the value of taking a life. You learn what that is.
Well, and you learn the feeling of it as well.
Well, here's the thing that I think some of these kids don't understand. These fucked up kids that are wanting to shoot people, and you play a video game, you play Call of Duty, you kill someone, you spawn back in 4 seconds.
Right.
Right? You watch it on the TV, and it's just blow people away, shoot them up, Alec Baldwin style. All right. But when you kill something, you realize dead is dead.
Oh yeah.
When you see a little thing on the side of the road that get hit by a car, you don't comprehend that.
Nope.
When you kill something or someone else, you see someone kill something, you walk up to it and you see that it is dead, and then you see them clean it, and it's not coming back.
And you see the blood, and you see all that.
Yes, you will learn the value of a life.
Yep. I agree. No, I 100% agree with you.
Because as much of an adrenaline rush and exciting as it is, you get that feeling. You want. It's like, why do you think? I think people thank God when they kill something so much, right? Because I think that it's like one of those things. It's like, I did this, and it's for a reason. So
Right.
That's what it is. You're not just killing something to kill it. You're killing it to eat.
Right.
Right. There's more to it.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't do it.
Right.
That's the whole point. When you grow up hunting, you have some assholes that are out there just trophy hunting, and I like killing a nice buck.
Yeah.
But I only kill something I eat.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was about to get into is that, a lot of people would say, well, hunters just kill for trophies. Like
Some people do, and I don't agree with it. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not that kind of guy. Just like I'm not a guy that likes to hunt inside fences. I can't. I did it one
that's
time.
Not fair.
I did it one time, right? When I was in high school, my grandfather, we were in Alabama, and he thought he was buying some elk meat that was already processed. Okay? Well, the law in Alabama was they can't sell elk meat, and you had to kill it. We didn't know this. So we're kind of there, and he had already paid, and on this 200-acre tract, we were riding around, and these elk were running around trying to get away, and I'm the one that had to shoot the elk, and I felt like shit. Because it was like, it was so unfair. But, so I'm not into high fence hunting, and I love the deer hunt, but I'm not into high fence hunting. I'm not into going and killing some fucking tiger or lion overseas because I want to kill one.
Yeah.
Okay, now some of them, they go over to Africa and they do that, but they'll donate it to the tribes.
You know who Josh and Sarah Bomar are?
Yeah.
You ever heard of them?
Yeah.
They do that.
Yeah,
They
but that meat goes to the tribe. It feeds a lot of people.
Right.
So that's different. It's helping.
Agree. Well, and that's the point that I was making is that you just said that there's people out there who go out and they don't just hunt to get trophies. They hunt for the meat, regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So if you're gonna kill something, you eat it.
oh yeah,
Unless it's a snake, you kill all the motherfuckers.
nah, you gotta eat snake too. Snake's pretty good.
I've had rattlesnake. It is terrible. It's like rubber.
It's not terrible.
It was. Oh,
You gotta know how to make it.
it was cooked for me
By who?
at the Rattlesnake Rodeo in Alabama. In Enterprise, Alabama, go to the Rattlesnake Rodeo. They'll cook it for you, fried, deep fried.
I don't know if anybody should go to a thing that's called a rattlesnake.
Oh,
rodeo.
it was actually pretty cool. And I ate rattlesnake there, and it was not good.
Whatever.
So, but that's just my opinion. Obviously, not everyone's gonna agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But we teach other stupid things,
I agree.
and I think the lessons learned on a hunting trip are just invaluable. I mean, they're so valuable. They're priceless.
Yeah.
Because you don't hear about a lot of these hunters being mass murderers.
No. Most of the time, it's just
It's a lot of them are dumbass kids or whatever that have never really been around any of that.
Yep.
And I don't think they fully comprehend what it means to shoot someone or
right what they have in their hand.
yeah. So, that's the gun discussion for today. The other thing I wanted to get into is Joe Biden's town hall. And if you haven't seen it, Zach, the whole thing, I know you said you saw part of it.
I saw part of it.
It was Dementia Central.
Oh, I'm starting to get to the point where I just feel bad for the guy because I mean, he can't keep anything straight. He literally is just the biggest.
Zach, they were talking about the ports, the shipping ports.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
And he was talking about the different ones that were over in California.
Yeah.
And he forgot one, and he was like, "Yeah, you got the one in like San Diego," and then and he looks down, he's like, "What am I doing here?" And then Anderson Cooper has to finish the sentence for him. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is going to be a meme video for decades." It was terrible. And then that motherfucker said he could lower gas prices 18 cents. Like, please, that shit's expensive.
It's amazing. It's amazing how Trump had us under $2, and he's saying he can only lower it by 18 cents.
Because and he's like, I could dig into our oil reserves and lower 18 cents because he stopped fucking pumping oil.
Yeah.
Because he shut everything down.
Yeah.
And he's like, I could, but it's OPEC withholding supply. He said, I get calls from people over in the Middle East, but I don't answer it. Motherfucker, you better answer it. That shit is hurting right now. It is expensive. Stupid. I told you what my tax deduction was for my business and gas last year.
Yeah.
A 60% increase so far this year.
Oh man.
Just for that. And they're gonna say, and fucking Jen Psaki wants to say, well, it's not right if these businesses pass through higher taxes to their customer. Bitch, I have to, if I'm paying 60% more on gas, then I have to increase the cost of the service that I'm offering because it ain't cutting it.
Right. I mean, you still have to make money when you have a business. That's part of having a business.
Well, I'll be negative. I don't have a 60% margin.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I'm with you.
I'd have to be negative, like if I just didn't do that. So what? I should just pay the government the extra fucking tax you're getting in the price of the gas, right? The higher price of the gas, and not raise the cost for my clients. Like, they don't see, this is how inflation works, dumbasses. It gets more expensive. Everything does. So I got to increase my cost of doing business to people, to clients, right? So I can make a living, and then they have to do that and pass that on to someone else because it's costing them more money because I'm costing them more money and because gas is costing me more money.
It's a giant waterfall. But
it's a cycle.
But they don't see it that way.
It's a circle of economics.
Uh-huh.
It's a very simple equation. It's not very complex. And the fact that they are denying or saying that it would be wrong for any business to increase costs when they have an increased expense is just downright stupid and ignorant. I can't even, I don't have words for it.
We already know that they're not very bright. I mean, but they continually confirm it without us having to do anything. It's a matter of they've caught the attention of all the non-bright people who look at them and they're like, oh, they're the government. They're right.
So the other thing they talked about the border, right? And someone asked him, why haven't you been to the border? And he said, my wife's gone down there. Really? So the first lady's handling the fucking Mexican border for us, huh?
Hell no, she went down there on fucking vacation. You know that.
Really?
She didn't go down there and do.
He's like, my wife's been down there. What the fuck is your wife gonna do at the border? Like, really?
Oh my god,
I think you just sent her down there to fucking get her away. She's probably annoying your ass for the weekend or something. Like, hey, go down there to Mexico.
Heck, she probably left because he can't remember anything, and she was tired of having to remind him.
Well, then you're like this. Then Jen Psaki had her little press briefing after the town hall the next day, and they asked her again about Joe Biden's answer regarding why he hadn't been to the border.
Yeah, and
she goes, well, because he said he has been there, and he hasn't. It's not since he's been president, right? And he goes, I have been there, a while ago. And Jen Psaki goes, well, he was referring to, he had gone to, he had driven through El Paso while he was vice president, I think, or a senator. And he goes, and he just talked about how he remembered, how the border split the city. And I'm like, really? That's all there was? He fucking went to El Paso. We went to El Paso for a football game. We played UTEP. We saw the fucking border. The interstate runs right along the goddamn fence. Like, that is not going to do anything. No one is crossing the border in El Paso illegally. They're coming in to work legally. Like, they're coming across, you know what I mean? Like, that's like it's got a big-ass fence with the interstate right there. Like, it's a city split in two if you haven't been there. And
I know.
Yeah.
I know what it's like. I've been there.
Like, that's not going to the border. I mean, it is, but it really isn't. You know, it's not like, it's like...
It's not. He's not going to the border.
That's not for what he needs to go there for.
No, not even close.
Then Jen Psaki goes, well, he's been to Mexico and Central America over 10 times during his time, either as vice president or senator, whatever it was, to talk to them about what's going on the border. And I was like, Mexico can't even fucking take care of the goddamn cartels in their country. They're letting them bring drugs in, right? They don't give a shit. Half the cops are paid off, and you want them to give a shit about the people coming through? Hell, the Guatemalans that walk up through Mexico, okay, the reason they're not stopping them is because they're not stopping in Mexico. They're going to the United States. It's just a pass-through. Right. It's no different than, like, if we had an interstate connecting Canada and Mexico, and us letting Canadians drive on that interstate
all the way down
just to go to Mexico.
Right.
But you can't stop in the U.S. Right? That's all that is. If we knew they weren't stopping in the U.S., we wouldn't care. We'd let them stop at all the gas stations along the way to
fill up.
Yeah. You know, help the economy out. Yep. And they're going to Mexico. And they're going back. Mexico doesn't give a fuck. Going and talking to the Mexican president does not do anything. So, but that was just funny to me. But my wife's been there. Really, your fucking wife went to the Mexican border and you haven't. That, first of all, that's not good.
And you're the president.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And he's too easy. I'm telling you, if you watch the town hall, it's too easy to bash him.
It is. It's way too easy. It's almost not fun.
Zach, it was terrible. Like, I stutter on this. I may lose my words, you know, and stuff. But he was. I don't know how to describe. He
doesn't have sentences. He barely knows how to speak.
And you know, it's sad. I don't want anyone to have dementia. Okay, it's and so if he truly does, I don't want. That's a shitty ass way to go. Okay, that'd be like one of the worst things. But you're president of the United States. You should also, you or the people around you should acknowledge the fact that maybe you do have this and keep you from being the most powerful man in the world.
Yeah.
Like
that would be a real genius idea, is to keep somebody who can't even talk on camera from being the most powerful person.
Think about it.
In the known world.
If who would you know, they gave Trump a whole bunch of shit about the nuclear football, right? Mm-hmm. And all that shit with the goddamn general, the treasonous general there, Milley.
You mean the dude who's dressed like a lady?
No. We'll start that in a second. But
sorry.
No, I'm talking about General Milley, who.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I'm with you.
The one that called China and all that. Who would you rather have? You know, they were saying, "Oh, Trump's going to start a nuclear war." You know, we shouldn't give a guy that's got such a short temper the nuclear football. And it's like, who would you rather have with the nuclear football? A very smart and intelligent guy that gets pissed off every once in a while, or a guy that doesn't remember what the button is?
Yeah, like, ooh, shiny red.
It's like, oh, is this how you call someone? You know, like that's the difference. I mean, it's one thing to be pissed off but know the consequences. But if you're, I mean, hell, we may be handy.
But to literally wake up in the middle of the night, probably needing to pee and walking over and seeing a shiny
and not even know what
button,
it is,
and not know what it is, and
you forgot.
Press it as you're peeing.
So, you know, and they always talked about how Trump, when he went to Palm Beach, the logistics, right? How much traffic it would cause and all that stuff. But think about the logistics behind setting up Joe Biden to be able to talk for an hour and 30 minutes on live TV.
Oh, it's got to be
the logistics. I mean, the amount of Adderall he would have to take.
Yes.
All right.
No, not just the amount of Adderall. The amount of drugs he would have to take to do that.
Well,
period.
And then to get the right people asking him the right questions, things that he can kind of remember off the top of his head, easy questions, right? Yeah. Things he talks about all the time, rehearsal. Like I'm talking about, there's a lot that goes into getting him up on stage to talk.
There's got to be.
And I know there's a lot because he'll get up and talk every once in a while for like 5 or 10 minutes and then walk away and not answer any questions. Let alone answering questions for an hour and a half on live TV. Standing up at that.
I couldn't imagine, man. I really couldn't. I couldn't imagine having to be that person who has to deal with that.
Well, the person that's probably dealing with it is probably the same person that really is in control that we just don't know. But
see,
go ahead.
You remember before he was president? You remember? I don't remember if it was a news thing or what it was, but there was a video of Obama talking about if he could be sitting in his basement in a pair of sweats talking to somebody through their ear. You remember that? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
There was a video of Obama saying that if he could, I think he said, be in my basement wearing a pair of sweats, directing somebody through an earpiece.
Oh, yeah.
You know
I remember when Obama said that. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I'm just, again, that's one of those conspiracy theories, but I'm just saying.
Well, okay, let's move on though, because I'm tired of talking about Joe Biden's dumbass. He's already pissed me off enough this weekend. I want to get into. So you brought up the health secretary. What's their damn name? She.
Oh,
the new admiral, 4-star admiral.
Yeah.
Now I don't think
dude.
I did not know that the health administration or whatever it is was a branch of the military. Apparently it is, because they're talking about being a uniformed service, and she's the first, or he, I don't know what the fuck it is.
He, she,
looks like a damn he. I don't care what you say. It is a damn he.
It's a he.
It looks like a he.
It's not a look. It is.
Well, I didn't know, because they said that, he or she is the first, was it trans person to be an admiral?
Yeah, because that's such an important thing for that position.
Well, I'm not saying that job isn't important. Okay,
no,
but what I'm saying is, how come were all of them admirals before that?
They should have been. It should be the same title.
I don't think so.
No?
No, she's been in this title for a few months now.
Yeah. Right, but I'm thinking the people who came before her, I'm pretty sure they had the same title. I just don't think they
let me
are pulling the same BS.
Let me backtrack before we go down this road, and disclose something before we start getting this conversation, because I know this is going to go down a bad hole. I don't care if you're a he, she, both of them, they, a Z, a she, or whatever the fuck kind of pronoun you want to use, if you're the best person for the job. It does not make one bit of difference for me. Black, white, green, yellow, whatever.
Yep. Okay?
If you're a fucking alien, I do not care if you're the best person for the job.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people agree with that. What I care about is you hiring someone because
of that.
You know, it shouldn't matter. When it comes to football coaches or whatever, it should be the best person you can find for that job.
Correct.
Okay. Next, Zach, and now I'm gonna hit you with this one. So, and this is gonna catch you off guard, but you need to think before you start talking.
Okay.
So, on the was it Medical News Today? They say that sex is different than gender. Okay, you've heard this.
Yeah.
They define a person's a person's gender is how they identify internally and how they express this internally or externally. People may use clothing, appearances, and behaviors to express the gender that they identify with. Hold on. Sex is typically based on certain biological factors such as their reproductive organs, genes, and hormones. Like gender, sex is not binary. A person may have genes that people may associate with being different, or with male or female, but their reproductive organs, genitals, or both may look different. This is called differences in sex development. People may also refer to differences in sex development as intersex. All right? Now, think about this. Here's my argument with all this. WebMD, which I think is very trustworthy site. We all go and read it, and it tells us we have cancer, right? Just about as trustworthy as that last article.
Whatever the hell you just read.
But there's a lot of information on WebMD. You can learn a lot.
You can.
You just don't want to diagnose yourself on it because you're always dying if you do.
You got to take it with a grain of salt, like you do most things.
Yes, but you can learn a lot. I looked this up. How many intersex people do you think are born? Like, what do you think the percentage is?
None.
No, the percentage. Obviously, there's some. Intersex, I'm talking about where like a hermaphrodite or something happened.
Like where you're born with both?
Yeah, like something's truly different.
I don't know.
Because something they talked about, like, you may be a woman, but you don't, like, on the outside, but you don't internally have the organs. So, like, there's certain sexual development that actually happens and occurs, right? And like, for a male, something happened with, like, the testicles, and they're not producing testosterone, whatever. So there are instances. What do you think the percentage of that is?
I don't know, 0.0 something.
So WebMD says that they did a study and analyzed data on nearly 14,200 newborns. Of those, 18 had ambiguous genitalia. That's a rate of 1.3 in 1,000 births, much higher than the rate of 1 in 4,500 to 5,000 reported in previous studies. Aiden said in a news release, okay, so less than 1%. Way less than 1%. All right? Now, if sex is different than gender, then is race different than color?
You're asking the wrong person this
I'm
question.
asking for a reason.
I know, but you're asking the wrong person because no.
It's not?
Race and color? No.
You say no, right? And when you go and you fill out like a census or an application of something that asks for your race,
yes,
it doesn't ask for your color, it just asks for your race. And it's either African American or Hispanic, and they have all, Latino, Indian, Hispanic, white, or Caucasian. They have all, American, Indian, whatever. All right?
Where are you going with this?
You can, if I said I was black, and it got checked, I would get a lot of scrutiny for that.
I would say you went on 23andMe and sent them a vial of your saliva.
Okay. If I said I was American Indian, which I have a little bit in me, okay, and you do too. Now you could get by because I think you have probably a lot more than I do. But I think, remember, Nancy Pelosi tried doing that shit, and she caught a lot of shit for it. Trump calls her Pocahontas. And why'd she do it? Because honestly, okay, it's funny, we laugh at it, but honestly, if she was doing it to get into college, fuck it. I mean, whatever. Because obviously, I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But let's say if gender is different than sex, and people can identify as any gender, and by this article they can identify as different sexes, okay, that it's not binary, but less than 1% of people are truly born with intersex. How many people have a little bit of our ancestry that comes from Africa? So, Zach, you know what I found out when I went on Ancestry.com about my family?
What did you find out?
I'm a direct descendant of Philip Habsburg, King Philip in Spain, back in the 1500s.
So you're telling me...
So I have Latino in me, bitch. I'm blonde hair, blue eyes. I have fucking Latino in me. So why can't I identify as Latino?
Because you're not.
How far back do we go? How many people think about? Here's my argument, Zach. People continuously
bring religion into this?
Huh?
You're gonna make me bring religion into this?
Well, no, we're not going to go down the religion thing. Race is defined as. Let me find it here. So race, in the Webster's Dictionary, is any one group of humans that humans are often divided into based on physical traits regarded as common among people of shared ancestry. Okay? So, red hair.
Irish.
Or Scottish. Apparently, there was one guy a long time ago that was like a Viking or something that came in, had raped a lot of people, but also had, he's a very powerful person that had red hair, and apparently that's where a lot of it comes from.
Okay.
Is drawn back to this one person. I also read when I was doing the Ancestry.com that you can, most people with European descent, you can actually go back and they would be related to Charlemagne. All of them. Do you know how many people are related to Genghis Khan?
Probably a lot.
Like 75% of the world, Zach. Of the world. That's how many bitches he fucked. All right? 75% of the world can trace lineage back to Genghis Khan.
Okay.
So what, we're all Asian? So how far back do you go? Here's the thing. I'm not saying that the race thing. I'm not trying to make an argument on, I can identify as black then, right? No, I don't think that's right. My argument is, Zach, is that people have higher percentages of each race or culture or ethnicity in them in a bloodline, and we are constantly mating with new ethnicities, right?
Right.
Constantly.
Right.
What is the one variable that remains the same, though?
What do you mean?
The one thing that allows us to mate with multiple ethnicities is sex. There's only one fucking way to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right.
You have to have a penis, you have to have a vagina.
Yep.
There's only one way. That's one thing that doesn't change. So we're going to question the fact that there's multiple sexes, multiple genders, right? But we're not going to allow people to identify as another culture or race, when in theory and by the numbers you have a better chance of being correct on what you're identifying as the culture or race than you do identifying as a different gender.
I hate these conversations.
Is that not a good argument?
Stupid. It is, but it's all...
Again, I'm not saying and say that you're black on a paper. No. What I'm saying is that, we're saying, it's okay to say that you're a fucking woman but you got a damn dick and two balls between your legs and you want to go use the bathroom in a woman's bathroom because you feel like a woman, like Shania Twain said.
Or we allow people to surgically remove all of that.
Well, that's up to them. If you want to cut your damn balls off, by all means, that is whatever, dude. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we're just allowing people to identify as a certain way. Okay? Because Shania Twain says she feels like a woman today. The guy that's singing it thinks he can go into the goddamn bathroom with him.
Hey, but she is a woman. I'll tell you.
Well, she is. She's a very fine one. She's my all-time favorite. Okay? I'm saying that... I'm just saying that just because of the song. But you want to tell people that, I'm a pansexual and a five-sexual or whatever the hell it is. But there's only one thing that truly matters, and that's how we reproduce.
Yep.
That's what it all comes down to.
Yep.
We can mate with a black person. We can mate with Chinese. Everyone can mate with each other. It's not like we have different chromosomes. We're all the same when it comes to that.
Right.
Every human can have sex with another human of any race and make a baby.
Yep.
As far as I know. All right? But even down under in another hemisphere. Okay? But the one thing that and obviously the ethnicities are constantly changing. All right? Eventually it'll probably be bred out of us where we're all the same or look similar because we're all you know what I mean? But we're not going to let people identify as another color or another culture, but we're going to let them identify as another gender and in this thing, another sex. Sex is not binary. Sex is binary. Less than 1% of the people are born with an issue that causes it to be intersexual. So I'm not denying the fact that happens, but I'm telling you all the people that are protesting, wearing all this fucking crazy shit, saying they're pansexual and demisexual and whatever the hell all kinds it is, all right? Just by the numbers and statistically speaking, not really. Right? So, I mean, I know I'm walking a thin line on this. That's just my argument against it.
Well, the problem is that there is no thin line. It's a very simple argument. The problem is you have people who, and you know what? Maybe I'm about to walk a thin line, but you have people who want attention so badly that they do this kind of...
Here's the other thing.
BS.
I was telling Britt this the other day, Zach. They want these children to be able to identify themselves at like 2 years old. Whenever they're consciously can remember shit and know shit, it's like, you got a 3-year-old saying, I'm gay, blah, blah, blah.
No, you don't.
And it's like, no. You know why I don't believe that? Because I never wanted to talk to girls when I was younger. Ever. I was embarrassed to.
Yep.
Right? I guess you could have said I was gay at that point, right? But when puberty stuck in, whole different thing. But if we start giving him fucking hormonal therapy before that happens, how the fuck do you know? Because I guarantee when that testosterone kicks in, there's a lot of shit that changes.
Oh, yeah.
And for some people, it don't. And that's fine. But then that's when they should be able to make that decision. Okay? If you're truly gay, and I don't, if you're gay, you're gay. I'm not denying it. I'll be accepting of that. Mm-hmm. But don't have some kid saying he feels like a woman when he's growing up, and his balls haven't even dropped, and you want to fucking chemically castrate him, and make him live with that decision for the rest of his life. I'm sorry, no, absolutely not, absolutely not.
Mm-mm. Nope.
And you're crazy if you think you should be able to do that.
Yep.
There's a reason why we have an age of 18 to be an adult.
Yep. I'm with you. I am, because I'm going to keep that comment to myself.
Facebook's probably going to kick us off for this conversation.
More than likely.
Facebook can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, more than likely we will get booted for that conversation.
That's just the way I see it. Look, I am accepting of everyone. I treat everyone with respect. I've said this time and time again, okay? I'm just here finding discrepancies in the arguments. In the way I see it, because I know...
Is there really an argument? There's not an argument there.
Well,
there's not.
You're
either... Listen.
Go ahead.
You're either straight. I'll agree with the whole gay thing. I get it. The man and woman and woman.
Oh, yeah. Now, the bisexual stuff, you're either straight or gay to me, at least. Yes. I mean, you can like both, but if you're sucking a dick, you're gay.
Right. But the whole... When you start rolling into the trans and the pans and the whatever you want to fucking call them, you've lost all respect.
Well, here's the other part. Here's the other problem with this, Zach. Let's say we all become accepting of that, okay, of these pronouns, with all these different pronouns, and let's say that in class or wherever, we go and say, okay, what do you identify as, or what's your pronoun? The problem is that half of them one day identify as something, the next day identify as something else, and then the next day you get it wrong, and they're fucking wanting to fire your ass. Mm-hmm. It's like motherfucker, I don't know. Yeah. It's up to you to fucking address what you are then, not me to ask you.
See, but then another big problem that I have with that is allowing, kids to identify, as whatever. Let's take it to the, let's take it to the school level here. What if you have a kid who, he's obviously a boy, obviously. Like there's, it's pretty easy to tell a boy from a girl. And let's say one day he rolls into school and he walks into the girls' bathroom and you're like, hey, you can't go in there. And you're like, well, I identify as a girl, so I can because this is my bathroom.
Let me ask you, if you grew up and your parents told you were a girl your whole life growing up, regardless of if you were a boy, you would have believed it.
I mean, if my parents told me that.
If your parents, if it was taught to you.
Yeah.
Since the time you were little. I'm not talking about when you're old. I'm talking about since the time you were able to comprehend it. If they were telling you were a girl, you would have thought that.
Probably if they would have been telling me that
right
all along, yeah.
Like, how do you know? When I was 5 or 6 years old, I would not have known that I was a feeling like a girl, because I was taught I was a boy,
right?
And they split you up, boys and girls, right? And you just know, like if your parents told you were a girl and you went to school, and they said, okay, boys over here, girls over here, you want to win over with the girls, and it would have been up to the teacher. No, you're not a girl, right? And that would have been like eye-opening.
Yep.
Like, oh, my parents have been telling me. So where are they actually learning this?
Man,
how much of it is that they truly feel this way, or how much of it is that their parents are fucking being stupid and telling them this? Because I know I will not, and people can criticize me this, I'm not going to sit there and talk to my toddler and tell them, it's whatever you want to be, honey.
No chance. You're either boy or you're a little girl.
Yeah. And then if you turn out to be, gay down the road, then, okay, we'll take that when it happens, right? But not when you're fucking 5 and 6 and to 10 and before puberty. Definitely not. I would tell, if my son came to me like at, 10, 11 years old and said he was gay, I would say, okay, but we'll see. I'd probably just say, all right, and just let nature take its course.
Kind of blow it off.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to. I don't know how I'd handle it. I don't know how I'd handle it, but my thought would be, well, we'll see what happens when puberty kicks in.
Yep.
Right? Like, because I can promise you, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yes, it is. You're gonna see a girl who's growing boobs for the first time, and it's gonna change something.
Like, and so these parents that are and I wonder what Pete Buttigieg is gonna tell his son. Do you see that? Who Pete Buttigieg, or however you say his name is. He was a presidential candidate. He's the one that said we are gonna take your assault rifles, and that guy, he's gay, right?
Is he
really?
Was
on. Yeah, he took 2 months off just recently for paternity leave. Now hold on. Hold on. Do you know what his job is right now, Zach?
What?
Transportation. You know what we are having issues with right now? Supply chain.
I know. Where
so we've been having supply chain problems, and he's on 2 months paternity leave. And he is now saying that, well, we need to have paid paternity leave, blah, blah, blah. You need to pay someone to fucking take your place while you're on paternity leave so we don't have this fucking problem with the economy.
So he's gay.
Yes.
So that means that he didn't actually have a kid.
No. So Tucker Carlson goes, yeah, he's probably trying to learn how to breastfeed his child. Tucker's savage. Tucker's a fucking savage.
Tucker's hilarious.
Tucker Carlson is a savage. So that was my deal on the gender stuff. The last thing I wanted to touch on, Zach, and
here we go.
So I posted a video on Facebook last night, about this, and I was fired up about it. Okay. We have a problem here in the United States, and you and I both fall into this trap. Everyone does. Uh-huh. We have a problem in the United States that we pray for the demise of successful people. Okay, yeah. We have let's take the University of Alabama into as the example.
Okay,
if you're not a Tennessee fan or a Florida fan or a whoever the Auburn fan, right? It shouldn't really matter unless your team's playing Alabama. But people literally pray that Alabama loses.
Yeah,
right. They are tired of seeing Alabama win. Same thing with Tom Brady. People are tired of seeing Tom Brady win. Tom Brady is nothing but a model citizen, a good father, a nice person, right? That is competitive on the field and fun to watch and has been extremely successful, but people are praying for the day that he retires, or people are praying, that he does bad, and they hate seeing him win. Yeah. People hate Tom Brady. People hate Alabama. Why do people hate Alabama? The University of Alabama has not had any kind of trouble. Nick Saban hasn't had any kind of trouble, right? It is nothing but business, serious hard work and business and winning. I don't like the University of Georgia. I'm a Florida fan, okay? I hope we whoop Georgia's ass this weekend. But I can respect the fact that Kirby Smart has built a very successful organization.
That he has.
Okay.
He's done a good job.
But this carries over not just to that. That's just an example. Where it carries over to is now we have people that are getting on people like Jeff Bezos for having the means to buy a rocket and go to space. Okay,
I don't care about that. Great.
Why? But they're like, oh, tax the rich, and I went through my tax plan last week about what I do. I had comments on Facebook, Zach, that were saying, oh, it's a conservative tax plan. It's probably just talking about putting more money in the corporations' pockets and trickle down economics, and it doesn't work. It's like, you didn't even fucking read it, because I didn't even talk about the businesses. I talked about exactly how it's going to directly put money into people's pockets. But the problem with a lot of people is they need people to stay down. They don't need people to succeed, because if people succeeded, then there's no reason for them. People like Al Sharpton or a lot of these politicians, if there's nothing to bitch and complain about, there's no purpose for them to have the role that they have. Okay? But people are always like, oh, tax the rich. Why are we always wanting to penalize people for being successful? Why are we always looking at people saying, oh my God, that guy made $1 billion. We need to take his fucking money. Fuck that guy.
Because people are petty.
Instead of saying, wow, I wish I could have that. That's a motivational thing. I want that.
Well, and that's the thing. People do. That's what people are saying. They want that, but they're angry that they don't have it, so they want that other person to lose it. Because if they're not happy, nobody can be happy.
We make people scared to succeed in this country.
Yeah.
It's not a fear of failure, because we have a lot of failures. Most people fail.
Yeah.
The problem is we have people, we make it okay, and we engrave it in people's heads that it's you don't need to succeed. We are scared to have people succeed. They want to hammer the private industry about all these large corporations having all this money, right? But they want to support the government that's actually taking the shit from them. That's my problem. And I went on a rant about this last night. I'm going to go on another rant about this. Think about it. Would you rather, if you got in legal trouble, are you going to take a public defender or a private attorney?
Private attorney.
Okay. If you order something online, are you going to have it shipped with the United States Post Office, or are you going to have it shipped with Amazon, FedEx, UPS, or one of those?
Well, it depends on who I buy it from.
But who's going to get it there faster? Amazon probably the fastest. Next, probably FedEx, and then UPS.
Yeah.
Okay. Rarely are you going to want to have it shipped with the post office. Okay. Yeah. My point is that we are wanting to hammer these corporations, and a lot of the people bitching are the people that were ordering shit off of Amazon during the pandemic last year when the government told them they had to stay at the fucking house. They're ordering through Amazon to get shit on the same day.
Yeah.
Right?
I believe that.
The post office wasn't delivering shit on the same day.
I know I was ordering stuff off Amazon.
I don't even know if the post office just did their regular little runs, right? Amazon was working their fucking ass off.
Well, no, the post office did step up because I know that our postal
not with same day delivery.
Okay, not same day delivery.
Okay, that's different. So people could order their necessities same day delivery, right? DoorDash was fucking taking orders and dropping that shit off at the house. Kroger and all that, like you could have the groceries delivered to your front fucking step, right? Because people didn't want to go out.
Lazy.
Hold on, it could be laziness, but also during the pandemic is when it really started because people didn't want to go out and get sick. All right.
Yeah.
Most of the people, the government shut down. The government told people they had to stay at the house.
Yeah.
What did private business do? They kept employing people and making sure everyone had what they needed.
You're right.
Okay. Who did they go to build ventilators?
I don't know.
They went to the car companies, Ford, Tesla, all them. Why? Because they have the means to do it. Yeah. They have the work to do it, right? Who do you work for? You work for a private employer. You don't work for the government.
No.
Right now, the government is going to fire anyone that doesn't take the vaccine. But the private employers are still hiring people. Right? They're trying to fight. They should be trying to fight that. Now, some are stupid and will fire people for the vaccine because of these mandates. Yep. But they're not the one that put the mandates in there.
No.
Okay? The government, the private sector is what allows people the opportunity to make an income. There are jobs in the government, but it's not even close to being the same.
No.
The government takes 20 to 30% of your paycheck, every fucking check you get, just for having a social security number.
And you don't have a choice about that.
You don't have a choice, and you'll never see that money again. How many times have you had to pay a private company for a service or product that you didn't get, Zach?
Oh, man.
Never.
Yep.
Ever.
Yep.
It'd be robbery. It'd be thievery.
Mm-hmm.
The government does. So, we have these people that want to say, oh, communism's the way to go. You shouldn't own that much land. You shouldn't own $1 billion of this company. Really? How many people has Jeff Bezos made rich? How many fucking people sell shit on Amazon and make a damn good living?
A lot.
Or eBay, right? All these are public companies. How many women before the pandemic, Zach, you'll like this one, were selling clothes through a boutique online through Facebook Live?
Lots.
A lot, right? Goddamn Facebook. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to connect with people and have a market for that.
Yep.
How many and some of these women were making damn good money.
Mm-hmm. Some of them are.
How many people have a website on Google that I can go on and buy products from them?
Oh, all kinds of people.
Right? Or how many people are on YouTube? How many socialists or communists are on YouTube promoting socialism and communism, but getting paid off the advertising revenue for the channel? Yeah. Let me tell you something. Everyone is a fucking capitalist here in the United States. And if you're not working. Everyone. Okay? If you are doing something like running a YouTube channel or a podcast, I'm doing this because I want to make money on it. Okay? I want to grow it and I want to make money on it. I want to be like an entrepreneur, right? And work my way up with it. Because I have the ability to do that here in the United States.
Yep. Yes, you do. You got the ability to do anything you want to.
Right? There's no one holding me back but me. But people want to give everything to the government, and the government is the only fucking entity that actually takes shit from you. Because for something that you didn't want. Or just for no reason. The government is the only one, but people literally want to put their trust into the government. Put everything they have, go all in on policies the government wants to implement while fucking over the private sector.
Only stupid people do.
It's the value you create, Zach. It's not the amount of work that you do. That's what people don't understand. They say, they're like, oh, it's, the workers are being ripped off, right? Because they work 30, 40 hours a week for a company. They're not getting paid maternity leave, or they're not getting this benefit or that benefit, right? It's the value you create. When the government told you had to sit at the fucking house and not go to the office, companies like Microsoft and Apple or Comcast or AT&T that provides your internet service are the reason why you were able to work from home and keep an income stream coming in.
That's right.
And not get fired.
You are daggum right about that. Because I remember when all that happened, I was so thankful for the internet that I had and being able to take my laptop home and all that good stuff.
There are some people that got laid off because they weren't in an industry where they could work from the house.
Right.
You know why? The government told them they couldn't work.
Yep.
Because they had shutdowns. The government.
I remember that. God.
I don't mean to drop truth bombs.
Yeah.
But the government is all take. And the private sector, when you think about it, is it give. Because they may be taking the money, but they're providing value in your life. They're providing opportunity. And it just so happens that there's a few people that have provided so much value that they get the benefit from it now. I'm sorry, but, does Jeff Bezos need $250 billion? No, but he has it.
He's earned it.
Yeah, God bless the United States. You don't have anyone else in any other country with that kind of money.
I was about to say, he couldn't have done that anywhere else.
Exactly. We want to take from everyone that's more successful than we are, instead of just looking at it as a motivational factor. So, people just need to reevaluate themselves. They don't understand the hard work that goes into being a winning football team or a coach, right? And they just want to hope they lose, instead of just not being indifferent towards and just respecting the grind that they put in.
Yeah.
It's not like they were out cheating or anything. Like, they're just recruiting better players. They've invested into it. They bought in, right? And a lot of them are great players that are coming out and going to the NFL. Yeah. Just like, they want to say, oh, the WNBA should get paid just as much as the NBA for they do the same job. You're fucking crazy. The WNBA had 10 people at their championship parade the other day. So, again, it's not the how hard you work, it's the value that you create. And hopefully this podcast is creating a lot of value.
It's creating some.
It's creating a lot of turmoil.
You know what? It creates happiness for me, so whatever.
It gets a lot off my chest. If I go home, but the problem is I still go home and I'm like thinking about things to talk about tomorrow, and I get fired up again. So it's not like I'm relieving myself or anything.
Nah, you're just giving yourself more space.
It's a never-ending circle of bitching.
That's right. That's all.
Of mansplaining. Fucking mansplaining.
Mansplaining.
Which I want to address. We're like I said, Facebook are probably gonna kick us off for the conversation we had with gender. I put a video up. They won't let me advertise that video because it had ass. And not ass like ASS, it had ass and 2 asterisk marks in the title. And then right after that, Zach, I see a promoted video, a boosted video of a guy talking about getting his fucking dick sucked by 2 porn stars in a club. And I'm like, really? I can't say Joe Biden followed by a double asterisk and this guy can talk about getting head? And we're not just like, oh yeah, I hooked up with these girls in the bathroom. It's like in graphic detail with the 2 girls there talking about it with them. So, and they're allowed to advertise that? Where's the gender identity here? Maybe I don't identify as wanting to fucking hear that. I'm not in the middle. I'm not either or. I'm fucking something out in left field, and I don't want to hear that. That doesn't apply to me, right? Can I say that? They're not appealing to me.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
you're right. No, yeah, I'm with you. You're right. That's the double standard's real.
So I can't criticize Joe Biden and call him an ass, but he, Macho Man over here can offend every freaking gender in the world by talking about him doing the whatever. Yeah, I'm not even gonna start going down this road, but you guys get what I'm saying. It was way worse than what I said.
It's because you're being insensitive.
Mine was the title of a video with a few fuck words in it. That's it.
That's funny.
So soft.
It's because you're being insensitive, Michael. You've got to be sensitive.
I think he
to
even
their
said
feeling.
pussy.
Did he?
I think so. He had to have. He said dick. They said dick.
Oh, okay. Well, at least somebody said.
So I can call it, So I guess dick's okay. I can call Joe Biden a slap dick.
There you go. Yes.
I can't call him an ass. I can call him a slap dick.
Yes, please.
Or dickhead.
No, call him slap dick.
Why can't I call him? I like dickhead though.
No, slap dick's way better. Makes me think of Coach Ellis.
Like, I mean, this was a graphic conversation that was sponsored. So that means that he paid for the advertising or whatever to get the podcast. And I'm 100% okay with that. But I got denied just because I had a video that really, I mean, was on the, I mean, it really wasn't even explicit other than the use of the word fuck about 10 times. But, I mean, well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But because the title had ass in it. I think that guy's title was just sitting down with Riley Reid and whoever, and if you don't watch porn, you probably don't even know who that is. And it, so maybe that's what it is. I can say the fuck word, but I can't have it in the title.
Probably.
Okay. But my shit comes up with subtitles. Like, they put subtitles on mine, so obviously they're going to see it, even if they don't listen to the video. So, they must, and I think I'm being shadow banned too, Zach.
Are you?
Yeah, like, I had some at the beginning that were getting a lot of views, and my outreach is the same, but the outreach goes from, like, on certain posts, and it's, like, not like, oh, people just are tired of hearing me. It's, like, every other post is good, that is something random. But then when I start talking about, like, the podcast or conservative stuff, not so much the podcast, because I get good views for podcast stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not like they're not wanting to hear the podcast. It's when they see certain topics I'm talking about, Facebook isn't distributing it.
Telling you, man, it's propaganda's real.
It's annoying.
It is.
I'm not gonna stop.
Shouldn't.
I can't. I'm too deep in it now because the whole point of this podcast is this.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So if it's either I'm gonna go down with this podcast and then start something else on and try again, but I'm going down with this one. Okay, I'm in too deep. I've said too much.
I'm in too deep.
I've said way too much. Okay, I can't go back now. And for those of you that are listening, go check out the Facebook page. Go subscribe to it. We're trying to add a video element to it. We're trying to raise $500 for the podcast so you can become a patron on our website. I actually put a link on the Facebook page for that. Any donation is appreciated, but if you donate over $50, we will actually run an advertisement for your business or product that you want to sell at the beginning of every episode for the next month. So literally, it will start, the whole episode will start with an advertisement for your business, so everyone will hear that.
Pretty sweet deal.
Yep. Again, and I don't care what you want to advertise. I'm a capitalist, so if you're going to pay me, I'll advertise it. I mean, hey, but yeah, so, it could be a good opportunity. We're really trying to grow this thing, and we will be back on tomorrow. Thank you.